Hello and welcome to Blackmans Bay Studios. My name's Mick and this is my old mate Keith. And this is a short film about some political goings on that's happening in Tasmania at the moment. And it's, I can tell you now, it's not about health, it's not about law and order, and it's not about education, is it, Keith? It's about something to a lot of people that's a lot more important than those subjects.
Yes, a couple of weeks ago the Tasmanian Parliament passed what they call the gender legislation, where parents can leave blank the gender of their child off of their birth certificate, which is what the way it was put, you know. But it turns out that that legislation also included that if you're over 16 and you want to change your gender, you can do so by just filling out a statutory declaration form. You don't need to have any bits lobbed off.
No.
Do you?
No.
You can just fill out a form and say, I'm a woman. So we had a bit of a think about this, didn't we?
There's got to be an angle, Keith, isn't it?
So we thought, well, there has got to be, you know, some issues with this, and potential issues down the line, of course. You know, so we were wondering, you know, what would happen if we filled out forms, Mick?
If we filled out...
Changed our gender. Now,
stat deck.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're at a disadvantage as well because we can't change our birth certificate, can we?
No, we can't.
Or can we?
No.
Because we was born in England, weren't we?
Yeah. No,
you know, I mean, if we wrote off to England and said Tasmanian government has changed the legislation, so can we change our gender on our birth certificate? I know what they're going to turn around and say on your bike, can they?
Yeah.
But you don't need to, apparently. All you need is the old stat deck. There we are.
Statutory declaration.
Now, we're going to find out exactly what this means because we're going to sign it, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we've got the deck each. We're going to sign this right now. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Blackmans Bay Studio. My name is Michaela and this is my old mate Keitha.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Sorry about that.
Oh, get it right, eh? Anyway, go on. He's already upset me.
So now we've signed the stat deck to say that we are female. So what advantages can we glean by being female now, Keith?
Well, first of all, I just want to get things straight. See the state of those fucking windows up there, look.
Yeah.
They need a right clean, don't have you seen them?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Now, have we got any advantages over being women? Well, I think there are a lot of advantages, Mick.
Yes.
I really do. For one thing, now that we've declared ourselves as females, hang on, get these stuff up. Now we've declared ourselves as females, we could go down the old dark pool, mate, and go straight into women's changing rooms.
Yes,
you know that?
we? Yes.
Now, I don't think your legislative mob have thought about that, have they?
No.
Perfectly legal. We could just walk straight in there, you know, straight in there, flaunt ourselves about, couldn't we? You know.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, which is interesting, is you know, if the government did this right. All we've done is sign the old, don't forget we've just signed the old paper, is they could get all of their government heads to sign a paper and virtually overnight they've solved the issue of not having enough women in government.
Equality, yes.
You know, companies who haven't got many female CEOs, get them to sign a stat deck, it's sorted. Not only that, but it also brings up brings down the issue of your gender pay gap, don't it? You know what I mean?
Solves both problems.
Oh yeah. You know,
I was thinking along the lines, Keith, of what about you You iron this teeth, I feel. Look.
Oh no, it's disgraceful,
Not
isn't it?
very good, is it? No. Anyway,
It's a steam. Does it need a steam? I think
it probably does, yeah. What about from the criminal angle?
Well, I mean, that goes without saying, doesn't it? Eh? Goes without saying. What happens if, right now, because we sign a paper, what happens if we get done and they're going to bang us up in Risdon? We'll go straight into women's, won't we?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Do you think we will?
Well, why not?
I mean, we've got to, haven't we? I mean, under normal circumstances, mate, we've got to get banged up straight into women's. It's the legislation. It's right there. Now, don't forget though, it's not easy to get banged up these days.
No, it's not, is it? No,
you know,
they've shown that here, haven't we?
Oh yeah, look, I mean, you could steal 50 cars, man. You won't get banged up.
Nah.
You know, slap on the wrist, bit of community service.
No, Australia, you can kill your wife and only go away for a few years.
A couple of years, yeah. I mean, you could go and do 50, 100 burglaries here, mate. You ain't going to get banged up. Tell you what, you will get banged up for. If you whistle blew on a government,
yes, definitely.
You know, you could get banged up. If you had a go at your LBTGBE FPG tips mob, right? You'd get banged up for that. And of course, your stock standard. If you have a go at Islam, that's another thing you'll get banged up for. Of course,
not allowed to do that.
But did you know another thing that's come out of all this sort of legislation? Every state in Australia is now drafting up misgendering legislation. So if you now call me sir, I could go you. I'd have you straight in a clink, quicker than you could say fucking Danny LaRue. Don't you worry about that. Eh?
Every state, Keith?
Every state is drawing up the legislation as we speak about misgendering people. Now, have you heard anything so ridiculous in all your life? Eh?
It's going to be a crime to be straight, isn't it, Keith?
Well, that's the way it's going, isn't it? That's the way it's going. Hang on. Am I looking all right still?
Yeah, looking good, Keith.
Makeup what?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, you know. Now, we spoke about all this, you know, the gender gap and all of that. What about your police force, Mick?
Aha.
Right? Ain't enough women on the beat, is there?
That's right.
That's all you got to do.
Another problem solved.
There's your papers, right? Sign all your papers up. Next thing you know, there'll be female officers everywhere. Won't be able to move for them.
Another problem solved.
Another problem solved.
At little or no cost.
That's right, yeah. And of course, the other thing is, the good thing about it is all this gender stuff, as we've seen.
Yeah. You
ain't even got to dress up, Mick. You know, you sign the paper, and because it's all now, you know, nothing matters. You just ain't got to go and get all the dressing up done, have you? You know.
Yeah, but hold on a sec.
What?
I've been out and bought all this stuff. I mean, I've got the stockings and the suspenders and all that, and all the bras and everything.
Yeah.
So if I didn't need to go out and buy all that stuff, why are we dressed like this?
Well, for a laugh. You ain't got no sense of humour since you've been a woman. You ain't got no fucking sense of humour, have you? Hey?
No, I think it's time to go back, don't you?
Well, all we've got to do, luckily, you know, if we want to go back and transgender, I mean, you've got to get your technical term right.
That's right.
If we want to transgender back, all we've got to do is sign our name on the old bit of paper.
Another stack deck.
We've got a second stack deck. And don't forget the other thing is we can photocopy these. So in the future, you just whip one out and just sign it, mate, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah, that's it.
You know, we can flip-flop backwards and forwards.
If you get arrested and there's a chance of you going away.
I mean, under the legislation, nothing stops you.
No, that's right.
Is there?
No.
There's nothing says there that you can't flippy-flop back. No. Is there? What?
So what do you reckon we should do? Should we go back, Keith?
I reckon, yeah, we might as well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we'll go back because you look like you're getting a bit too used to it if you know what I mean.
I feel quite comfortable,
you know,
actually.
in your own skin.
I can get used to it.
Yes. Right, I'm signed. Well,
So am I.
it's goodbye from Michaela.
And goodbye from Keitha.
See you later. See you very, very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Pass me out.
3, 2, 1, we're back in the room.
Here we are, mate. Back as your male gender.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it feel? Do you feel any different?
Oh, not really, no. I don't. No.
I think I do. I feel a little bit different, but there we go. I think we raised some interesting points, Mick.
I hope we did. Yeah, I hope the people saw
Yeah,
the point of the show.
yeah. I mean, when it all comes out, there are going to be some very interesting, because people are going to test it, aren't they? There are going to be people out there
Cool
testing
cases,
it,
yeah.
testing it to the limit. So
We'll see.
just remember that you saw it first here at Blackmans Bay Studios.
Again.
All
Okay.
right.
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
We'll be with you very, very soon. Ta-da.
A handsome man in silky thong, a pretty girl with massive dong. I'm always batting for both teams. I'm the boy and the girl of your dreams. Arthur and Martha, right him and to her. Arthur and Martha like Sonny and Cher. Arthur and Martha, a guy with a woo, never the bride, but sometimes the groom. Arthur and Martha, right him and
This has been a Blackmans Bay Studio production.